Hi and welcome everyone. In this video, I'm gonna talk a lot about totems, or to be more precise, melee totems. But first, I'm gonna make a guide for my totem build that I'm currently playing. It's a Ancestral Warrior Sunder totem guy. Gemling, not the Titan. I think Gemling is better. I think Gemling is better for like any kind of attack-based build in the game right now, or like almost any. The idea of the build is that you're basically setting up your totems, then shield charging and blinking right in the center of the pack, and using your resonating shield to break the armor of your enemies and to block the incoming attacks and to basically debuff them and gain rage. You can also put sun orb, whatever it is, like solar orb, before you start resonating shielding, but it's kind of slow and you won't really need it most of the time. It's only there for the bosses. Same thing with the barrier invocation, that will have some curses or marks in it. Overall, it's a pretty good build. It's kind of slow. I'd say it's like 3 out of 5, but as you can see, it's not like incredibly slow. It's fine, it's totally fine. This is a tier 17 map with the boss, Delirium, that's pretty much it, nothing else. You can also set the totems after you jump into the pack, but it basically doesn't matter, just play the way you like it. For clearing, you'll be using an AoE totem with Sunder in it. For bossing, you will be using a single target totem plus an armor breaking totem. You have basically like 4 totems in total on bosses, because the armor breaking totem will have a plus limit gem in it, and it will be totally enough to break the boss's armor like multiple times in a fight if the boss is gonna survive this fight. Plus you will be using resonating shields too, because, well, basically you can just stand in the front of the boss and use your resonating shield. Even if your HP will drop a bit, it doesn't matter, you will survive, just use your life flask. Here you can see the boss. The DPS ain't crazy or anything, but it doesn't matter if you're gonna one-shot the boss or like spend a few seconds fighting the boss. I don't think it matters. What matters the most is the survivability of the build, so you could level properly and not die in maps. And this build, I think, is absolutely perfect for it. Not only not only that you can play safe and basically never die, but also you're very tanky because you have surrender with life on block on it. You have maxed tapped block. You're not dealing damage yourself. Your totems are dealing it for you, so no like wind up animations for your slams or anything. You're basically always in action and you're always blocking. Even the on-death effects cannot kill you. I never died to them, basically. And you also have a lot of energy shield that will recharge quite fast, and the start of the energy shield recharge will be starting like 2 times faster than usual. Now for the gear. You'll be using a Zero Disdain. The damage taken by pass roll doesn't matter. You'll be using Life Regen Corruption. You'll be using like 1.5+% Life Regen Corruption. Anything less than that ain't really worth it. Just buy it for like 1 or 2 divs. Just a standard hybrid helmet. For the boots you will be using energy shield and armor base. You can use just the energy shield base, but it will cost you a lot in terms of in terms of requirements, so I would recommend it. Just standard pair of boots, movement speed, stats, and life roll if you can get one, hybrid roll also. It will help you with transiting into the live version of this build later on when energy shield will be nerfed. If maybe if you need it, maybe you won't need to transit into the live version. We'll see after the nerfs. And of course the res roll, because there's basically nothing else you can use. Ingenuity, it's the best belt in the game. You can use the rare belt before you're gonna get ingenuity, but it will be quite a nice rare belt because you'll need a lot of res, because ingenuity giving you a lot of res. This is the main reason for using it, basically, for the res and for strength. So it also needs strength on your belt, like tier 9 strength, yes. Now it's tier 9, it was tier 1 in PV1, now it's tier 9. For the gloves, armor and energy shield base once again. A complete bane of my existence, because you have very difficult time to in finding those gloves, good enough gloves for your build, especially the energy shield and armor base, because nobody is adding them, because nobody wants them. It will change with time, because this base will be more popular with time because of the armor buffs and energy shield nerfs, but for the time being, basically you only probably gonna find an energy shield base kind of gloves. You'll need, as a prefixes, you need energy shield roll, increased energy shield roll, fizz damage, fire damage to attacks if you are going for the fire version of the build, that I will cover later in this video. You can also use accuracy rating, you can also use life roll, hybrid life, and of course hybrid energy shield and armor rolls if you get like an energy shield and armor roll gloves, whatever. For the suffixes you need plus level to melee skills. It's a mandatory requirement, you just need it. And then the other two suffixes can be strength, dex, int, resistance roll, and of course attack speed, but attack speed is like a luxury roll. You probably never gonna see a glove like that on the market. I've never seen one in like 2 weeks, so yeah. Rings, another point of my existence. For the prefixes it's life, fizz, accuracy, and fire damage to attacks instead of fizz if you will be going for the fire version of the build, or the avatar of fire version of the build. For the suffixes it's all res, strength, and the other row can be either dex or a singular res roll. The base doesn't really matter, just pick the one that will fix your resistances. The other ring like that is basically the best ring you could find in like a week or 2. Yeah, it's very difficult to find them, at least for the fizz build it is. For amulet, it's basically energy shield, increased energy shield, spirit, maximum life, and accuracy for the prefixes. Spirit is important for the fire build, not as important for the fizz build, because you can get spirit on your weapons, and in the fire build you'll be getting elemental damage course instead of the spirit course. And you need the increased maximum energy shield on your amulet, it's like mandatory. And you need +3 to all of melee skills, and strength, and either dex or dex and the singular res roll I guess will do too. Another point of my existence, incredibly difficult to find an amulet like that. Will be expensive. The rings and the gloves will be difficult to find, but they won't be all that expensive. At least the gloves won't be. Rings might be, but the amulet will be quite expensive. And the anoint will be the deep trance, and the quality is defense for more energy shroud. For the weapon, first the dosing amulet, the dosing charm to counter the ignites, so you could recharge your energy shield like always, because the ignite will interrupt the recharge. My life flask, nothing special. Orloth unique flask would be a better choice, I guess. Now for the weapons, strength roll and +7 to all melee skills. You'll need +7, it's mandatory, and you can also use causes increase stun build up suffix, but it's clearly meant to be like a weapon suffix, a weapon thing, and your totems will use their own weapons, so it's a bug that it works on the totems, so you might as well just ignore it because it's gonna be fixed at some point. That's pretty much it. You'll need 3 sockets and you'll be socketing spirit into them. You can also socket stun build up if you don't have spirit yet, or if it's like a temporary weapon for you, or if you don't need spirit, I guess. The second weapon is a Norse hymn. Get as much strength as you can get, 3 sockets, get spirit if you need spirit, and get stun build up if you don't need spirit anymore. I'm not sure if it's gonna work later on into the early access, because aftershocks, it seems that the aftershocks should only work on you, not on your totems, but I hope that it won't be fixed and that it's working as intended, because it's just a very comfortable pick. Like +7, another +7 would be a better choice. Like for example, you'll be able to use Prism of Belief to get rid of your amulet with +3 and use like +1 to limit of your totems kind of amulet, the unique amulet. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but like it's an option, and overall just another +7 will give you more consistent damage, but it will increase the mana costs by a lot. The totems will cost you for like 1000 life or something, and yeah, it's not a very good thing. You can also solve the mana problem with mana instead of blood magic, but then you'll be sacrificing a lot of points for this, and you'll be sacrificing a lot of suffixes for mana regen. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You might as well just be gemling and have less cost of skills. For the weapon swap, there it is. Weapon swap, surrender will make you borderline unkillable while mapping because of the life on block. You'll need the block chance corruption. You don't care about the sockets, but if you're gonna get sockets like 1 or 2, get the crit damage reduction soul cores to be even more tanky. For the weapon, it'll be a rattling scepter with strength and increased presence area of effect. Increased presence of area of effect, it doesn't really matter all that much, but it will increase, for example, the area of effect of this thing. Again, it doesn't really matter, you can ignore it. Skeleton warriors are actually quite useful. They are like mid-size that will roll the projectiles for you. Those are the gems I'm using in my skeleton warriors. Now, the attribute requirement will be a problem. The int 1. The intro will help you a little bit, but there is a problem still, because it will be still like 100 int requirement, So just get, if you don't have enough int, just get a lesser int requirement rattling scepter. They exist, they have probably smaller strength and int rolls, and a less level of your skeletal warriors, but it doesn't really matter all that much. Having more strength instead of int on your tree is like a better idea, but if you'll be using like int based gear for now, you won't really have any int problems. Yep, that's it. Now for 3, descendancy obvious. Descendancy choices are obvious. The only thing you can like change, and yeah, you can get this node or this node. This will give you more, a little bit more damage, but will destroy your mana costs. And this node is a comfort pick. It's a very good comfort pick. I'm using this node instead. Now for the main tree, it's just strength, defenses, AoE, and attack speed, and some things that I'm using for against the darkness, against the darkness, yeah. And also those defense nodes that will give me a lot of energy shield and armor and energy shield recharge rate because of this node. Yep. And now for the weapon swap, you'll be using like for your maces, you'll be using this weapon swap, just totem stuff, totem placement speed, nothing special. And then for the rest of your tree, it'll be the weapon swap in defense, and for it you'll be using block, like a bunch of block, bunch of life regen, life recovery. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you don't have enough block on your shield, you'll need more block nodes. Not this one though, it reduces your energy shield. That's pretty much it for the weapon swap. Also the attack speed, yeah. Now for the jewels, you'll be using a singular time load sapphire in there with the maximum energy shield, faster recharge, start, and effective smoke nodes. The other good suffix would be, I guess this is suffix, whatever. Damage recouped as life, and maybe extend threshold one. What is it? There it is. Yeah, you're also gonna be using this prism of belief jewel. It's like 22 jewel, I guess. And then you can get this corruption on the jewel for staying for int. It's fine. And for this jewel, for the rare jewel, normal rare jewels, you'll be using start of energy shield recharge, maximum energy shield or energy shield recharge rate, damage recovered as life, and stun threshold. There it is. And for corruptions, you'll be using strength, int, or chaos res. You like to have 10 strength or int, but it's hard to find them, so less than 10 will do the job. And there is also possibility for the adorn setup, but for this build it's kind of pointless. You'll be only getting more like attributes, otherwise it's just the same as using the rare jewels, and it is assuming you have like plus 100% adorned, like a perfect adorned. You can also play as Titan, and for Titan, adorned setup will be more more of a reasonable pick, but for gemling it's absolutely pointless to use the turn setup unless you're gonna drop the mirror and you're just gonna spend all of the currency you're gonna get from selling the mirror on this build, I guess. And what else you can do is you can get those nodes and get another Time Lord Jewel over there, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's it for the tree, and now for the gems, it's triple totem setup. Yep, you'll need like about 20 totems, preferably level 21 in those sockets, and level 21 Sunders, but level 20 Sunders will do the job, and level 19 I guess also will do the job. This is a AoE clear totem, magnified effect, martial tempo, upheaval and inspiration. Single target totem, it's heft or bloodlust, and brutality, heavy swing and clonk effect. You can only use bloodlust if you have a 6-link resonating shield with lacerate on it as a 6-link, and this is armor breaker totem. You don't care about the level of this totem, kinda. And armor breaker 2, splinter, overabundance, break posture and persistence to counter the overabundance, skill effect duration reduction, resonating shield with rage, blind, maim and mobility, shield charge with unbreakable, bludgeon and stomping ground. You can also use this thing instead of the unbreakable. If you're gonna get stand, you'll be immortal, but you're not gonna be stand. But I mean, if you are getting stand, then you can use this one instead of the unbreakable, just whatever you prefer. Solar orb with font of blood, font of rage and arcane tempo. You're using it just for the fonts basically. Better invocation with Ice Winter, scatter shot, sniper's mark and impetus. You can also use another energy support gem as a 6-link, or a curse like a temporal chains or a Thibaut. Blink with Windwave, Ingenuity and Herbalism. You can get rid of Herbalism and Roman Presence with Vitality and Precision. You can put them over there and get rid of Roman Presence. Is not that important to have it in your build. And that's pretty much it for the physical damage build. So if you're there only for the build, for the physical damage build we're playing right now, that's it. There is nothing else I can say about it. Other than, I guess, as a 5-link you can get rid of inspiration, heft and break posture. If you only have 5 links, this is what you can do as a budget option. But yep, that's pretty much it for the physical damage build. Now for the fire damage build, you'll be using this weapon instead of this weapon. It will have elemental damage with attacks and even more elemental damage with attacks on your cores. And for the clear, you're probably gonna be using molten balls instead of the Sunder because they're kinda better, even though they can be gimmicky with like the targets that will stay up close to the totem. You also gonna get rid of those nodes and get Avatar of Fire and like one more node you can spend on like more strength depending on your level. And for the gems, basically nothing new change. If you keep using Sunder for molten balls, and it's just the same thing, but with instead of upheaval it will be scatter shot, and instead of magnified effect you can use something like some damage dealing support gem. And for the Ancestral Warrior Totem, for a single target, you just change Brutality and Heavy Swing for 25% more weapon elemental damage and fire and fusion, and there you'll be getting rid of splinter in favor of envenom and corrosion. So you'll also get rid of break posture and no changes over there. There you'll be socketing, it'll be sixling basically. You'll be socketing fire exposure and the increased effect of exposure, and there you will also probably need a sixling, and you'll be socketing also, like, instead of scatter blast, I guess you can do like a 5 link. You can socket flammability. You need to socket from flammability for the single target, and you pretty much need spirit on your gear because you'll be getting elemental damage with attacks on your mace and another mace, because you're gonna use another mace +7 mace instead of the criminals, because bows will only they cannot do aftershocks. It's a ranged projectile attack, so you have to use the another mace, and you have problems with the manacles, but yeah, it's fine, I guess. You can get rid of level 4 melee skills because you have another +7, and just use the jewel to fill the 3 levels that you'll be losing from the amulet, and you have easier time getting your amulet with spirit, energy shield, and other things. What else? The main problem of this build is that the maps with the energy, with like elemental res resistant mobs, like the mod 50% elemental res to the mobs, there will be a problem, a very big problem for you. You're basically gonna suffer while running them. So I would recommend to do this build with like a live version of the build with this thing, and instead of the energy shield nodes, get energy shield jewels, get the red jewels, the ruby jewels with fire pen on them, and some other mods that you can utilize as a totem build, like totem damage and shit. Also, what you can use is you can get rid of the other hammer, and instead use the shield that doubles your accuracy rating. It's like a lucky side or something like this, and stack dex and accuracy rating. You'll be anointing this thing right here, and you'll be stacking accuracy rating and dex. It'll increase your attack speed, even though your totems will still have base attack speed increase. It'll be fine. You can stack then some of the attack speed, and your totems will attack faster. It's not that good for the single target, because for the single target you want like big hits, not a lot of attack speed, but for the clear it will be quite strong. And the good thing about it is that your mana costs will be quite cheap, because you won't have another +7 on your jumps. The other problem of this build is that molten balls won't scale with the level of all melee skills, only with the like level of all skills kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's just one scale like Sunder, but the damage decrease will be fixed by the fact that they have fire conversion, and water fire is only 75%, so they will have like 25% more damage, which is borderline the same thing as having a bunch of skill levels on the molten balls. That's it for the fire build. Now for the life-based build overall, you can use for the life-based build, you can use this thing, life recharges. It's pretty good actually, but Mirage is just better. And for the helmet, you'll be using either this helmet with like 17 increase strength, 18 strength, corruption, or the mask that will remove all your energy shield to give you life regen for it. I forgot the name, I don't have it right now, but you can use it totally. And the other helmet that you can use is, well, basically just a real helmet, nothing special, with strength and attributes and life and all the shit. That's it for the fire build, I think. You can also use like fire damage rolls on your rings and gloves if you go for the fire build. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, you have more single target with the fire build, by the way, because you can decrease enemies' resistances below 0. So when the energy shield nerfs will come into play, the fire build will be better because the life build will be better overall. The other way you can also fix the spirit problems on your fire build is that you can get your blink for your weapon swap, because you have more spirit in your weapon swap, and just ignore its existence in your damage weapon swap. And it's not that big of a problem because you're probably gonna blink.
Need more time.
This shield charge, and it's in your weapon swap by default, so it doesn't really matter. Now for the other options you can have, and you will have, outside of fire damage build, there is not much, and I think I actually thought about anything and everything I knew of, but yeah, I guess you can use the gloves. Where are they? I'm not sure if I have them. The gloves that will give you decimating strikes. Again, if you have already have level 40, you can swap the gloves for the gloves that give you decimating strikes. I don't think it's worth it, but this is an option, I guess. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I can talk about. Shockwave totem. You can also use shockwave totem instead of the ancestral war totem. Basically, the shockwave totem will act as a resonating shield by itself because it will aggro the mobs, and you just spawn in a bunch of them all around, and just mobs cannot get past them. It's very good for Sanctum, it's very good for some league mechanics, but you can only go so much with the scaling of the shockwave totem, because its damage numbers ain't all that great, and in the end you'll need to use it a lot, so you have to use the Grimnors. Like double mace won't really work with shockwave totems. Yeah, shockwave totems are just they're pretty good for the budget version of this build, like early game version of this build, but later on you'll be swapping them for the Sunder totems eventually, and shockwave totems are just more of a anga-bunga playstyle. You're just spamming them, and they're like a distant earthquake, distant instant earthquake kind of thing that will spam the earthquake all the time. And with the Sunder you'll need to set them up while using more brain cells instead of just spamming them into the enemies. And maybe you'll be using a proper resonating shield to lure your enemies into the range of your Sunder totems. If you see that the totem is gonna attack, you just lure the enemies under the attack and they will die. So yeah, it's more of a 5-head gameplay and shockwave totems are just free head gameplay. Like, the most dumb thing you can do in this game. You're just spamming the boom boom totems and that's it. And I guess there is nothing else to talk about. I've covered everything I could. If I'm gonna remember something else, I'm gonna like at least another video, or maybe add it to the guide on the Maxroll or in the comments. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more theory crafting videos on totems and some other builds, because I'll be making more of them, I guess. I hope, I think. And that's it. Bye bye.